No.
I think you got used to me being away.
John and I are not going to concede that just yet.
Let's welcome Steve Wendelin, who's patiently sitting by. He made an hour-and-a-half drive to come into the studio. I think we should let the guy say good morning. Steve, how are you?
Good morning. By the way, as far as insulting you,
yes,
in the military, that's how we show our love.
Yeah, Bill loves me a lot.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Unconditional love.
I can tell.
Yeah.
And he did say sir afterwards.
Oh, so. Yeah. Well, you've got to do that.
Bill's an admiral. He never calls me sir.
Oh, I do. I say, good morning, sir.
What he calls me starts with an S. It has an I, but it's not sir. Yeah. Steve, how was the drive this morning?
It was fine. Beautiful, clear. We need to get a little bit more rain. It's been dry for about a week now. I'm actually growing things out in the garden this week, or this year, and so whenever I don't have to water, although the grass doesn't seem to need any rain whatsoever to grow.
Well, it got a lot of rain earlier in the year.
Yeah, it just grows and grows and grows.
Yeah.
But no, the drive was beautiful coming in over the mountains, and as always, and I am always just amazed by the physical beauty of where we live, and what a blessing it is.
And you around Elkins?
No, I'm up in Hardy County. I'm near Lost River.
Lost River, okay,
Yeah,
very good.
So,
big first question I'll start it off with. Are you running for Congress again?
So I have not yet officially announced, but yes, I am. The official announcement will go out with some press releases and whatnot towards the end of this month, probably around Labor Day. Made the decision officially last week. I still need to do things like update the website. The Facebook site is very current because I've been on that since the last election. But basically my goal since November, since the last election, is this. One, that the Democrats put a candidate in every single race. We left way too many House of Delegates seats on the table. We left, I think, 8 Senate seats on the table and the state treasurer. And we need viable candidates to contest every single race, because that's democracy. And what people don't realize, too, is primaries are a good thing. Primaries are where democracy happens, really. And so I ran uncontested last time in the primary. I think there might be a couple people that will show up in this primary, and I'm really looking forward to that. It makes us all better candidates, and it gives people a choice. And then what's going on with the Republican Party in West Virginia, where they've closed their primary? Well, there's a whole lot of independents out there that if they are not aware of it, when they go to vote in the primary and they ask for that Republican ballot, they're going to be told no. But they will be given a Democratic ballot if they request it.
Steve, when you ran for Congress against Riley Moore, you certainly worked hard enough to win a seat. You were on this show many times. But what kind of support did you get at the state level? What kind of support did you get at the national level as a candidate in a deep red state like West Virginia?
So the national level, I'm going to say straight up, there was no. I reached out to the DCCC, which is the committee that supports congressional races. And unless you're an incumbent, they really don't spend a lot of time with you. The most I could ever speak with is a couple of interns. Obviously, no financial support whatsoever. The DNC, again, was kind of a mess prior to the last election. We've got some new leadership in, and I'm hoping to turn that around. And I hope to influence some of these decisions that they make. The idea of things like battleground states. I'm sorry, every state's a battleground state. And you can't just say, well, that's a deep red state and you're not going to win. West Virginia has only been red since 2014. That's not that long. I mean, all of us in this room are old enough to know, can remember 2014. All right, so, and, West Virginia used to be a deep blue state. So we need to get out of this idea of red and blue and start voting the candidates and voting the issues.
Bill.
Yeah, good morning, Steve. Last election, Congressman Riley Moore won decisively. What has happened in the last year and projected forward a year and a half that you think you can change the outcome of the race?
Well, he delivered his promise, and that is he is hook, line, and sinker devoted to President Trump and devoted to Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation. He has done what he did during his candidacy, which is ignore the district. He doesn't show up anywhere. He will not have town halls. He didn't show up while he was running because he figured that the R next to his name was enough to do it, which in that election it was. However, now, 0 town halls. He's been invited to town halls over and over and over again. Will not show up. I talked to his staff. They can't tell me when he's going to meet. You always find out where now he goes places within the state, but they're very coordinated, and the people that are in that room with him are handpicked. He's not meeting with the constituency at all. None of them are. His aunt, Senator Capito, isn't, and Jim Justice isn't. I imagine Carol Miller down in the 1st District is following the same way. They are not coming out to the districts. They're not showing up in places like Triadelphia where the flood happened. They might send a rep, but that's it. Because quite frankly, they're being told don't go out because they're afraid of what people are going to say to them and what's going to get caught on camera.
But do you see anything, and you made the comment that he's in the full camp of Donald Trump, which he is, but that's not going to hurt him in West Virginia.
Well, it should, because the problem is the policies that are coming out of this administration are already hurting West Virginia, and they've also put in motion a time bomb that's going to go off after the midterm elections.
Will you be specific on that?
All right, so how about the 300 to 400 federal jobs that were lost in West Virginia? Okay, both Capito and Moore both sent strongly worded letters, okay, to Doge saying, well, please, we need to keep these jobs. Okay, that's not their job to send out strongly worded letters. Their job is to control the purse strings and bring Doge to heel. Whereas Riley Moore now has doubled down in his newsletter saying he wants all the Doge cuts to be put into law. That's not okay. It wasn't okay how they went down. And it's certainly not okay where they cut. Okay, they ignore the big pork. They ignore big defense contracts and things of that nature and go after, mine safety. Okay, going after NOAA and the National Weather Service. And I remember bringing that up before the election, Admiral. And I kind of want to get your take on that at some point this hour. But I just, this is not how you govern, okay? This is not how you govern. They ran on hate and fear, and now it's just chaos. The rule of law has been broken in this country, and I'm sick of it, and I'm not going to be quiet. And I think the only mistake I made the first time around is I was far too polite, and I was far too politically sensitive. And so now you're seeing me a little bit more unfiltered. And if you go onto Wendelin for Congress on Facebook, you'll see my videos I make and the comments I make and the political cartoons that I post. And this is no joke. I don't need this, all right? I don't need the job. It's not like I aspired, I want to be a politician. No, spent 39 of my years dedicated to supporting and defending this Constitution, and to see, and I'm not going to blame it on the Republicans or even MAGA, I'm going to blame it on this small core that has used us, lied to us, and completely forgotten us, and will continue to do so. I mean, just everything that we are now accepting as normal is not normal. Accepting a plane from a foreign government is not normal. Building a $200 million ballroom onto the White House, it's okay, it's all being donated. You can't do that. Congress still controls that. Donations, when you're in office, are called bribes. And let's be real about this. It's not okay. And when I see Riley Moore basically enabling this, and then he doesn't talk to his constituency, he doesn't answer calls. when you do write them a letter, you'll get a form letter written back that doesn't address what you asked about. And, where is this going? We can't sustain this. And I'm going to tell you, it's the Democrats' fault. You know why? Because they put us on our back foot and they made us defensive. They started talking about the trans and illegal immigrants and Muslims and all this. Well, guess what? Trans are less than 1% of our population. Undocumented immigrants, maybe 2, maybe 3% of our population. Muslims, 1% of our population. They have us focused on the wrong 1%.
But Steve, it's 98% at the national level. It's 98% of the dialogue. And I think therein lies the problem. And you talk about losing what West Virginia turned in 2014, 2016, whatever that year was. It turned when the Democratic Party decided that they're going to turn their back on West Virginia and fossil fuels. And that they demonized fossil fuels, and they decided that they didn't want West Virginians to have jobs anymore. That's how it was packaged. Whether it's true or not, that's how it was packaged.
Absolutely.
Right? So here, some advice from a diehard Republican to a diehard Democrat. There's a message that's missing. And there's a lesson that I think can be learned from the Tea Party Republicans from back in 2008, 2010, whenever that was happening. And that is, at the national level and at the local level, to unseat Riley Moore, it has to be something more than he doesn't attend meetings. It has to be something more than I'm better than Riley. And to unseat the Republicans nationally, it has to be a message that's something more than Orange Man bad. I'm not Donald. There has to be a plan that does not invoke Donald Trump's name. We are going to do this, and this is better. And I think that you all lost. You lost the common people because 98% of the drumbeat is about these small percentage of folks who are affected.
Absolutely. And here's the new drumbeat. Okay, what is going on now? They're making West Virginians sicker, poorer, and they're attacking our freedoms. Straight up.
How are they attacking our freedoms?
How are they attacking our freedoms? Oh, they're invading our doctor's offices.
Who?
Okay. Charleston. Okay.
I don't understand the reference.
Okay, let me clear it out. Okay, when we start banning women's health issues,
Killing
abortion,
babies.
not killing babies. First of all, okay, the two most unqualified human beings right now in this room to discuss this would be you and I, based on our plumbing.
Living adults.
Okay. No, men. Okay.
Who are not aborted. The abortion issue can't really be discussed, right? Because it's an ideological thing. Either it's life or it's zygotes.
Right, but here we go. They are taking away our freedoms. Okay, they're trying to take away our freedom to vote. Okay, it's getting harder to vote in West Virginia than it was.
How?
Well, right now, independents can't vote in the Republican primary.
But that.
You asked me how they're attacking our freedoms.
That's fine.
Okay. So, they are undermining our public schools and have been at war with that.
How? Is that the Hope Scholarship?
That's the Hope Scholarship and not having any standards for homeschooling. Okay. So we are basically generating a generation of really poorly educated people. And that is a shame because the largest employer in the state of West Virginia are school teachers. Okay. Registered nurses are number one. School teachers are number two. And they're constantly being attacked. They're not being paid a living wage. And so that's how they're attacking us. That's how they're attacking our freedoms. One after one. When they start telling us what books can be available to our children, okay, that's up to the parent, not up to Charleston. So my point is this. They are making us sicker. They are making us poor, and they're taking away our freedoms. So you ask for how we're going to say that. That's how we're going to say it. Now, the next thing is, what are we going to do to fix it? Well, guess what? The Democratic Party needs to get off its backside and come up with a serious plan and have some serious candidates. And I am going to be one of those serious candidates. As far as Riley Moore goes, you know, the guy constantly oversteps the separation of church and state. Just go to his Twitter X feed. Okay, constantly is doing it. His little junket down to El Salvador. Wow, that was great. Okay, 2 thumbs up in front of prisoners.
That was odd.
It was less than odd. It was less than odd. That's called bad. Okay, I know I'm odd. All right, that was bad. All right, you don't do that. He's trying to co-sponsor a campaign medal. A guy who's never served in the military. He's trying to co-sponsor a campaign medal for forces deployed to the southern border. Okay, anyone that's been in the military, okay, that does not meet what a campaign medal is for and what it denotes. All right. Hey, those guys are deployed away from their families. I get it. I understand. It's arduous duty. That does not rate a campaign medal.
Steve,
Okay?
before we run out of time with you here, we got about 5 minutes left. I want to get to the point John started with, which is what is the positive messaging for the Democratic Party? Not what the Republicans are taking away, but what are the Democrats going to do? What can you tell people right now in terms of your candidacy at the congressional level as to what changes you want to make?
Okay, first of all, we're going to reestablish the rule of law. The suspension of habeas corpus, no, we don't do this. We don't grab people off the streets with masks. All right, that's not us. So we're going to restore the rule of law. We're going to restore the balance of power back to Congress, and Congress can do its frickin' job again, and that is control the purse strings and not just say yes and rubber stamp things. And they don't run away from issues like calling a recess before, you know, certain issues are voted on. So that's the next thing. The other thing too is the Democratic Party is back, and we are the party of the working people, and everyone needs to get on board with that. And yeah, I'm not going to suffer the sins of the Democrats that came before me with you know how Bernie Sanders got treated by the DNC and all that stuff. Because guess what? I am the Democratic Party, and I am going to take this back, and we are going to provide some leadership.
How does the Democratic Party once again become the party of the working person, as you said you want it to be?
Well, basically, we have to stop reacting to the Republicans and start putting our own message and our own policies out there. They've had us on our back foot too long.
But what is the message and what are the policies?
The message is we need to shore up Medicare and Medicaid. We need to ensure Social Security is going to be there for as long as this country exists. And also, finally, we need to ensure that things like public education are a right and not a privilege. We need to make sure that taxes are being paid by the billionaires. Okay, we've been talking about the wrong 1%. Providing tax breaks, it's insane. For people that make billions and trillions of dollars, no, we don't do that anymore. So we, like I said in the first campaign, we need to reform the tax bill, the tax code, even if we have to take it out in the parking lot and burn it and start all over again. But the graduated tax, it's a sham right now because of all the loopholes in it.
In regards to well, let me tell you what, I got 2 minutes left. Bill, go ahead and take the final question here.
Yeah, you have not mentioned immigration. What about the immigration policy? And
Yeah.
how would you modify that?
Immigration policy, guess what? We're having a hard time finding people that will do the jobs the immigrants do. All right, let's go back to Reagan, where Reagan wanted to basically introduce a worker visa program. You come in, you work for 5 years, you work for 7 years, you don't get in trouble with the law, you pay your taxes. Okay, and then we'll start talking green card. But the point is, it has to be controlled, it has to be regulated. And throwing people into concentration camps isn't how you do it. Okay?
One very quick insight. My sense is that not having the primary was very detrimental to the Democrats. There's no defined leader. Will that change with the next primary?
We're talking about at the national level?
National level.
It was, and there were some problems there. And I went to the national convention, and it was very positive and everything else. But sometimes we drink our own Kool-Aid. hopefully we'll have some leadership emerge. I'm starting to see some now, and something's got to come out of this, because we can't keep doing what we're doing now. We're tearing ourselves apart. We are the laughing stock of the world. You can't, we're inconsistent, and the stock market shows that. The stock market's getting to the point where they're just trying to almost ignore, the daily fluctuations that are going on.
Steve, I'm just about out of time.
Yep.
10 seconds. What's your website or Facebook page?
So on Facebook, Wendelin for Congress, and Facebook is wendelinforcongress.com.
Thank you, Steve. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Appreciate you making
All
the
right.
drive this morning. That's Steve Wendelin.